What's up? I'm Tyler.
And I'm Dakota.
And this is the Bourbon and Business Podcast,
where we interview successful businessmen and women to let you in on why success doesn't have a single formula to follow.
We also have a little bourbon tasting along the way because why not?
Why not?
So guys, please enjoy this episode and let us know your thoughts at Bourbon and Business Podcast on Instagram.
Coming to you from the Bourbon and Business Studio here at IPS in Flowood, Mississippi. I'm Tyler.
And I'm Dakota.
And this is the Bourbon and Business Podcast. How you doing this morning, Dakota?
I'm great, Tyler. This is college football game day, dude.
I know. So we're missing the first few minutes of it, all because of the love we have for our listeners.
And the podcast, yeah.
Making sure we're getting out some great content to them and meeting with some great
We got to talk about bourbon and business, man.
Yeah.
Got to.
Priorities.
Yes.
So you want to introduce our guest to us this morning?
I do. Today we have special guest, Jeremy Camilloni, founder and CEO of WhatIsThat.AI. Jeremy, welcome.
Thanks for having me. Happy to be here.
Yeah, glad to have you. And then tell our listeners what we're sipping on.
We're sipping on another Penelope. This is like the fourth or fifth Penelope that they've come out with in this line. This is the Rosé Cask Finish. What do you think?
Well, I'll tell you, this is a really good Penelope. If you're wondering why I'm wiping the table here, if you're watching, this stuff is so strong, it's taking the varnish off of the table here. So very strong. I'm going to have to give it a 200 proof probably. And do you know what proof?
It's a 94 proof.
94 proof. So very smooth. I mean, I'm not usually big on like a rosé type finish, but I like this. I like it a lot. I might have to give it it's got to come in the nines, I think. I'm going to have to go with like a 9.2.
Okay. That's a strong rating.
It's pretty good. And then tell our listeners where they can pick a bottle of this up at.
They can pick it up at the one and only Cheers Vineyard in Gluckstadt, Mississippi. If you have any kind of bourbon, whiskey, scotch, Japanese whiskey, tequila, wines, they got it all.
Yeah, if you want it, they got it.
Yes, they do.
And ask for JT when you go in. Well, Jeremy, we appreciate you coming on this morning. We like to always start this, kind of give our listeners your background, where you're from, and then how you got to the point of becoming the CEO of What Is That?
So I'm from a very small town. I grew up in Western New York. It's like a railroad boom town, and it was like 1,000 people. So it was very small growing up. Went to high school there, and then I went to college around that area as well. And then after graduating college, I just decided I had to get out of there. So I jetted off to California for like 10 years. Mm-hmm. And I worked a normal job for less than 2 years. So I had a cubicle for a little while. And I was just like, yeah, I can't do this. So I had a friend that had a startup at the time. He brought me on, and even though like I was working for him, it really didn't feel like a normal job. So that was kind of like my segue into entrepreneurship. Fast forward like 5-6 years, I started my own agency, and this is while I was still living in California. Mm-hmm. That kind of just took off on its own, me and a couple buddies. Fast forward, I ran the agency for a while, and around like 2022, I decided to move to Austin. So I moved to Austin. That's where I am now. I shut the agency down about 2 years ago, and I started this new project called WhatIsThat.AI. And it was really because I have like OCD, and there was like so many products and AI tools like coming out, and I was like flooding the market. So I was just like, I got to do something about this and like organize it. And that's really how it started. So yeah, I mean, we've been in beta for probably about 2 years now. We started the project just about 2 years ago, and that's what we've been doing ever since.
So what is that AI? It sounds to me like it's a organization tool for different AI software. It kind of like tells you what it does and like puts it in a category.
If you go to the website now, it's very basic. A lot of the work that we've been doing is going on in the back-end infrastructure of the website. It's really a data processing machine. So we built a crawler that basically scans the internet and just like constantly is looking for different AI products and AI tools. we're collecting the website information. And once we have that, we send that website to a processing house, and we're processing that data from that website. And we're categorizing the products and the tools, of course, but we go a lot deeper. We're actually analyzing the TOS and the privacy policies. So think of like a robot that just constantly finds different products and tools and then like reads the fine print and the privacy policy and then summarizes that for you and puts all of that information in a easy consumable format. That's really what it is. It's kind of a directory on steroids.
Wait, is this going to be like a subscription model, like a ChatGPT type deal, or what?
For the regular everyday consumer, it'll be free. We're targeting like the actual brands and the companies. It's really, that'll make our website probably more successful if we make it free for the consumer. There's money to be made on the affiliate marketing. So I was an affiliate marketer for years. That's kind of how I started. Think of it as like Kayak, right? Like we're offering like a resource and like an information hub. If we can increase the amount of traffic that's going to that website by making things free and nice for the consumer, that's going to help us in the long run. It's going to drive more sales through affiliate commissions and sponsorships and eventually advertising down the road. So our real goal is to just crank as much internet traffic through this website as humanly possible.
So tell our listeners a little bit. So obviously y'all are going and scanning all these AI tools and things like that and figuring out, what their privacy policies are and all that. What type of things are y'all seeing that consumers should be aware of when they're, using an AI tool?
Right. You'd be surprised. There's a lot of products that don't even have privacy policies. So that's like step one is like, does it even have a privacy policy? Does it not? Once you find a privacy policy and you're scanning it, you're kind of going through it, we have a scoring system that we use. So we have like different categories that we basically score it on. The main one that most people are concerned about is really the data collection and where is that data going? Like, are they selling it to third parties? And if so, which third parties are they selling it to? Is it Google Analytics? Is it Facebook? So that's really the big takeaway there. We were trying to put ourselves like in the person's shoes that's actually going to be using the website and like what would be important. And we've gone through like a few different iterations of this already, but we've really settled on like data collection and where is that data going?
So what does a good privacy policy look like in your view? Since you've read so many of them, what would a strong this is a company that's got like a solid privacy policy?
Well, I haven't read them personally. I go through the summaries. We have a robot that will read them because there's way too many. But once we bring them through our data processing technique that we use, and the AI looks at it and gives us the report. Really, it's transparency. So like there's most tools that you use today are selling your data. It's simple as that. You're going to find that out very quickly once you start going through these reports. The ones that I would say are good are the ones that tell you exactly where that data is going. There are some that are very vague and they'll just be like, hey, we're selling this to third parties and that's it. And you have no idea what that means. The ones that really explain where the data is going, there are ones that are way more in depth with the actual specifics of where that data is going. And I would say that leans on like the better side. Like it's going to be hard to get away from using things without your data leaking somewhere. It's just kind of the nature of the beast. But as long as you feel comfortable with it going to Google Analytics, or if they're using it for Facebook ads and you're like, whatever, you can rest easy, at least knowing that's at least where it's going. That's probably about as good as you're going to get. It's a unique position to be in because not a lot of people are actually reading these things. So it's kind of like I'm discovering like land that's like never been stepped on before, and just kind of going through these myself and looking at the summaries. It's very interesting.
Well, there was a big meme that was like, I don't know, a few years ago, and it was like the Apple terms and conditions, and it was like the biggest lie that everybody says when you just scroll down to the bottom and you click accept. Like, I have read and accept the terms and conditions. It's like,
right.
Did you read it, Tyler?
Oh yeah.
You read it? 100%. You read every word? Yeah. Do you remember any of it?
Yeah, all of it.
Oh, okay.
One question I have for you is, what would you tell people that are listening to this and they're, working in their office daily and they're just uploading a ton of stuff to Chat GPT, maybe personal information that,
Some people use it like a
yeah,
therapist. Yeah.
that they don't have, information of other people that they don't have the right to be uploading. What advice would you give them and, I guess steer them in the right direction in doing that?
Just stop doing it.
Yeah.
Like, if you're working at a company and you're using ChatGPT, you should be very careful and at least talk with management whether or not that's a good practice or not. Going through research for what people are concerned about with AI right now, like one of the top concerns is like, is this app safe? Like, where is my data going? Like, those are the big concerns. And then through that research, I actually found out that one of the big things that's going on right now are people are using AI at work because it makes their work life a lot easier, but they're not telling their boss. So this is actually happening quite a bit, where there are probably people higher up in these companies that wouldn't be too happy about the usage, but they're just not aware.
Yeah.
I read an article about a girl who actually just did that. She works an 8-hour-a-day job, and that's what she gets paid for. She works 1 hour a day, and she wakes up around, 9, 10 o'clock. She has ChatGPT and a bunch of different AI softwares that she's created agents for, which, if you don't know what an agent is basically like a little mini person that you've decided this little AI person is going to do this exact task at this exact time every single day or whenever the schedule is.
Right.
And they're going to pull in all of the weather or pull in all of the stock market data or, whatever it is.
Yep.
And all of those agents, she even has like email agents that like send her boss an email at like 8 a.m. and then another email out to like different colleagues at like around 5. So people think she's still working. And like, she's like gotten all this feedback, like, you're doing great, like great work, great job, like you're crushing it. And she works like 1 hour a day. And I'm like, that's gotta be wrong, right?
There are people out there that have like 5 jobs right now, and they're like, I don't know if you've seen those stories in the news where like they're making like over $500,000 a year because they're just like they have like 14 computer screens in their apartment. It's like crazy, but you can get away with that now, especially like remote positions. You have to be very careful. Obviously, if you go in the office, that's going to be a little bit more difficult. But
right,
remote.
Well, I was gonna say the scary thing about that too, though, is if your job can be done by AI, 90% of it or 100% of it, you will not have a job.
Like how
within
the next 5 years.
Yeah.
How much longer, how much longer do you have?
Yeah. So if you're listening to this and you're thinking like, crap, I wish, my job, like I can't do that. There's no way for me to have AI do that.
That's a good thing.
Then more than likely you'll have a job moving forward. If AI is doing your job for you, then guess what? It's probably going to do it for you without you there.
Job security. Well, Jeremy, tell us a little bit about the feedback you've gotten so far and the growth that you've seen over the last couple years.
Yeah, so the growth, I mean, really, since we're in beta, we're really not trying to promote it too heavily right now. The growth has been more so geared towards Substack. So like we've been creating a community on Substack and growing a newsletter around it, like trying to hype it a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
And that's actually been going quite well. So we started the newsletter back in April, and it's just had consistent growth, pegged to be around like 1,000 subscribers on the newsletter, I think around October. So,
wow.
Yeah, we're close to 900. We've been getting like over 200 subscribers a month. And like these are actual email subscribers. So like people that are like okay with me sending them an email, which is very rare these days.
Yeah.
And our unsubscribe rate is like insanely low, like less than 1%. So like they're sticking around. We have had users sign up for the site. I mean, you can go there. The site is active. It's just that we're going to be really launching majority of the features like within the next 60 days. So if you go there now, you're going to see a very basic version of what we have. And that's one of the reasons why we haven't been like doing like heavy marketing. I was kind of telling my dev team, like, we're in marketing phase right now. So like we have to get the website ready for like promotion, and we're basically there, but not quite. We're about 60 days away.
What are you doing with your with the data that these people are giving you? Because they're giving you their data, right?
Well, this data is all public. So if someone signs up for the website right now, other than like their email address, like we're not doing any Facebook ads, we're not doing any pixels on our site. The only thing we have plugged in right now is Google Analytics, and that's basically it. Yeah, we're tracking internet traffic on the site. We have Hrefs, which is the SEO tool, but it aggregates the data. Like if you don't want me to see your location, I can't.
Gotcha.
Yeah, so we're not really doing too much with that because our main concern is like just generating internet traffic and like really focused on SEO and ranking. So like I've been trying to like build backlinks for the site, make sure our on-page SEO is right. Like we have so many technical things going on right now that even if we were to get flooded with new users like tomorrow, like there's really not much I could do with it besides just looking at the Google Analytics report and being like, oh, look it, we got this many like hits yesterday.
Yeah.
But in regards to like the data that we're collecting, that all exists out in the interweb somewhere. We do follow like the robot text file on the site, and a lot of websites that like we try to go get information from are like trying to block us from getting it. So one of the techniques that we've been using is actually taking a photo of the website, and it kind of is a little bit of like a workaround where you can take a picture of a website and you can send that to an AI agent and actually have them dissect the photo. So if I wanted to get pricing, I don't have to like actually scrape your website. I can just take a screenshot of it and then send it to a bot, and it'll be like, oh, the pricing is $19 a month.
Whoa.
Yeah, so the photo's been a really good workaround for getting information, and you can get like really granular information out of the website as well. So people really don't know this, but like when you look at the terms of service, it tells you exactly the company, like the actual LLC or the Inc., the legal business name that's associated with that tool usually is within the terms of service, and where they're located. So we're tracking businesses and their locations as well. So like you can't see it yet, but we'll have a heat map where you can go on and you can actually see where is AI coming from.
Interesting.
Well, in the terms of service, what does it say about as far as like, say, obviously you log on to ChatGPT and you make this work of art and it becomes famous, and all of a sudden this work of art's selling for millions of dollars. What stops ChatGPT from saying, hey, we actually created that? You know, like our bot or AI bot or whatever created that, you didn't. What does it say in the terms of service about who actually owns that property?
That's the kind of information that we're trying to surface. I don't have that right off the top of my head, but I did read an article like 2 years ago on this, where basically the conclusion was if you create that, you have the rights to it as the user. And
because you made the prompt, right? Like it wouldn't have happened without the prompt.
Yeah. So you put in those magical words and then it spat out that photo, right? So like my thoughts are, from like a business perspective, you're going to scare away your user base if you start like trying to take credit for every single thing that they do on it. And eventually, that'll hurt your website and your business. So I think that they want the users to feel some sort of ownership over the content that they're creating, because they want the users to be coming back and using their platform.
That's a good point. And, you know, Apple has, of course, this rolled out a couple years ago, I guess now, their feature where like it tells you kind of like what data is linked to you and what data is not linked to you. And I'm one of those people that like actually looks at that. And I'll like, if I'm thinking about downloading an app, I'll be like, that's a lot of data linked to me. You know what I mean? Like, I don't know if I want that or whatever. And then you find an app and it's like, there's no data linked to you, and you're like, oh, great. And an app that actually doesn't care about, you know, me as a number, but actually just like wants to give out a good product.
Yeah, it feels like you picked like the healthy food in the grocery store.
Yeah.
You know, like
that's a good way to put it. Yeah, for sure.
You get to feel good about yourself today. Clean
Well,
app.
tell us, Jeremy, about some the future plans for what is that AI?
Yeah, so we're right now, since we're heavy in beta mode, like we're focused on very like just like the basic features right now. Future, say 2-3 years from now, like we plan on having a agent. So think of like a co-pilot, and it's just a part of the website. So if you had like parameters that you wanted to give this thing, like say if you wanted to build a certain kind of system that required different tools, or APIs or whatever it is, you could put in the pricing parameters. Say if you also had like privacy needs, you could throw that into the prompt. And what it would basically do is it would do integration mapping. So think of it like this. Like if you were to have all of the apps in like a database, knowing like every single thing that plugs into Zapier, and then like everything that plugs into Make Automation. And then if you go through the sitemaps and you look for their integration page and you find all the native integrations that they have, any API as well, you can put that into an integration database. And then you can start meshing things together that way. And the concept is having a co-pilot where you literally type in what you're trying to do, and it will give you the best setup options for that based on whatever parameters you gave it. So if you wanted to keep your budget with like under $100, it'll build you a system under $100. If you want to make sure your data is not going to Facebook, then it will give you every single app that basically has, a better privacy policy that fits within your needs. So that's
super cool.
Yeah. It's kind of like your little co-pilot buddy to figure out, exactly how to cut through the AI noise, because the market is very noisy. Like, I'm not sure like how you feel about it, but like I'm in this every day, and there's just like new products, new tools coming out every second, and it's overwhelming for me. I don't know how everybody else feels about it, but like for me personally, it just feels like there's a lot of information getting thrown at us when we already had a lot of information like before AI.
It's almost like I've heard people compare it, and I'm in the markets and stuff, so I've heard people talking about the stock market, compare it to the .com era, and like everybody had a website. Right. And like most websites were like, they look like this blank wall behind us, and it'd be like, Bourbon and Business, and that'd be it. It was just like the title on a webpage, but everybody had to have this website thing, right? It was like the coolest thing. So everybody feels like they have to have AI. They've got to have an AI agent. They've got to have this and that. Yeah. So I think it'll shake out eventually. It'll probably take a few years, but there could be a bubble from it as well in the future. We'll have to wait and see.
Yeah, there's definitely a bubble. I mean, you're spot on with that, because majority of AI right now is being backed by VC money. And what people are actually paying for these models, like say if you pay $9 a month for a software, that company, more than likely to run that model, it costs them like $100 to run a month. So if VC money disappeared like tomorrow, the prices for everything, all of these programs that you use would skyrocket. And majority of people that are using them now would be canceling.
Yeah.
Yeah. So it's interesting because that's really the definition of a bubble. And it's a lot of things that are wrapped in basically OpenAI and AWS. They're all basically wrappers. And if you're not familiar with that term, it's basically when you white label OpenAI API, and then you create your own website and you're like, oh, this is my AI platform. But really, you're just using the API from OpenAI like everybody else, and you're putting like a new shiny face on it. And that's 95% of what you're seeing right now.
That's kind of like what Apple did with Siri on their newest update. They integrated ChatGPT with Siri, so now you can just ask Siri, and it'll be like, "Oh, did you want me to ask ChatGPT?" And it's like, "Well, can you do it, or do I need to ask ChatGPT?" Like if you need to ask them, yeah, ask them.
Right. Yeah, it's interesting. But yeah, I mean, if you're paying $9 a month, and then like $91 of that is from the company. If they're paying $100 a month to run that software, $91 of that would be VC money. Then they go ahead, they pay OpenAI for tokens. Then OpenAI pays AWS, and then AWS pays NVIDIA. So it just kind of keeps going up the chain. And the real winner is NVIDIA, because without them, this all stops.
Yeah, and their stock has gone through the roof. Although I did see a graph yesterday. I have not checked this, but apparently Build-A-Bear has done a little bit better.
Wow!
Over the last 5 years.
Great, phenomenal.
Things are looking up.
I don't know. It could have been AI generated. I should have validated.
Yeah. Well, another question I have for you, real quick, because obviously everybody knows really ChatGPT, and that's probably one of the biggest ones that you use, that and Grok. What are some unique AI tools that you're seeing out there that maybe the mass public is not aware of?
It depends on what you're trying to do, because in every single category of life, there is an AI tool now. Me personally, since I'm so engulfed in my business right now, like I've been focusing a lot on like different SEO tools, and even like with podcasting too, because I started an AI generated podcast where I don't even talk. And like, there's zero mic time, and it takes me like 5 seconds to like put an episode together. I've been learning that like there's SEO with podcasts, which you guys are probably already aware of, and there's like tools you can use to see how you're ranking on Spotify and Apple. So like that's where my head's been at lately. But like if you're trying to get more fit and go to the gym, like you can have like an AI coach, like AI nutritionist. There's so many different things nowadays, but you do need to be careful, because these AIs will hallucinate sometimes. Like if we just put all of our trust into like an AI nutritionist, and then all of a sudden, things aren't looking so right, and you're going to the doctor, like it's, I think that people put their trust into these softwares a little too much too early on, and that's what we need to be a little.
I read a story about that just 2 days ago. It was this guy who passed away sadly, and it was because he was using ChatGPT and had a sore throat. ChatGPT was like, "Nah, dude, it's just a sore throat. Don't worry about it. No way, it's cancer." And then it turned out to be cancer. Yeah. And he ended up with like 4 or 5 days left to live by the time he actually went to the doctor. Wow. But like, who knows where that would have been if he had actually gone to the doctor instead of relying on ChatGPT. Yeah. And there's kids using it as a therapist, and like they're refusing to talk to their parents because ChatGPT is like, "No, you don't need to tell your parents." Like that's not okay. There's got to be some parameters out there, because this is, if it's misused, it could be life or death. That's that's serious business.
It's going to be tough for the younger ages because they're growing up with it. Like for me, like I was a 90s baby. Like I grew up before cell phones and internet. And like if I wanted to go play with some friends, I had to get on my bike and go drive, ride down the street and knock on their door. Yeah. So like for me, I'm a tech guy, obviously, but I'm still skeptical. I'm not just diving into things. And like my whole thing is like trust, right? Like, and that's kind of why I started this website and this business, was because I knew that I'm going to be using AI. So I kind of want to know what I'm signing up for when I hit the accept button on a lot of these different softwares. And, this website was almost like going to be my personal tool at first. And then it just kind of turned into like something that I'm actually going to have be consumer facing now. But it was really my own anxiety, Yeah. Started all this.
Well, Jeremy, we appreciate you coming on.
Yeah. Thanks.
Tell our listeners, if someone's listening and they say, "Hey, in the next 60 days, I want to check out this website and what you have going on," what is the best way for them to find you and connect with you?
Yeah. So if you're looking for a way to cut through the AI noise, you can check out WhatIsThat.AI. It is live, so you can go there now, but we'll be launching a lot of new features within the next 2 months. And then for like social, we're really on Substack. So if you want to connect on there, you can send me a message. Just type in WhatIsThat.AI on Substack and you'll find me.
Perfect. And Dakota, give us your thoughts on the bourbon.
Yeah, Penelope rosé cask finished. Good flavor ish. Nice heat to it. I'm not a rosé fan. Like I wouldn't say I hate it, but it's like the bottom choice for me if I have an option. So the finish for me isn't very good. There's too much of that rosé flavor. I'm only at 8.1.
8.1.
Yeah.
So we'll land at an 8.6. How does that sound?
Sounds good to me.
All right. And then to all our listeners, however you stream this podcast, if you would give us a rating and follow us on social media.
It'll help our SEO.
Yes, it will. And make sure you give us a 5-star rating.
Yeah, that would be ideal. And if you want to leave a review too, that'd be great.
That'd be perfect. And we'll see you next week. Hope you guys enjoyed this episode.
If you have any feedback or would like to be featured, reach out to us at bourbonandbusinesspodcast@gmail.com.
Or find us on Instagram at Bourbon and Business Podcast.
Thanks again for listening.
Follow us for more content and info on the next episode.